I ain't even gonna lie, I don't even know what this shit is it's playing. I just press play, and this came on. But you know what? I actually kinda like it. It's almost like a backing track for a sort of rip-off Easy Life. Yeah, I think that's quite enough. That's quite enough for the copyright-free shitey music. Aye. Well, hello everybody and welcome into this Friday's entertainment news. I am Jonathan here to discuss the latest happenings in the world of, well, Disney today. It seems, because everything is Disney related, apart from the last two topics. One is relating to Shah Rukh Khan and his absolute destruction of haters on Twitter, and the other is the most of filler music related topics, just so I can justify putting that E in there instead of an M. Incidentally, can you tell that I have just put this hoodie on to stop the t-shirt that I'm wearing underneath, which is black, from blending into the fucking chair? Well, if you couldn't, well, I did, hence why the creases. Just some clarification, I don't go outside the house, outside period, anywhere with creased clothing. That's neither here nor there though. First up, Disney Plus is getting higher prices. And look, you could say, why you headline this show about streaming services getting a price increase? This has been happening for years now. And you'd be right. But realistically, it's just a conduit into a greater chat discussion, if you like, about Disney. Where Disney are just now as a company. Where their minds are at in terms of finances, their operations, the TV, the movie side of things, the streaming side of things, the theme parks, where they're at, and how this is ultimately shaping everything that we have grown to love from a Disney standpoint in terms of output, movies, the MCU, how it's shaping it. Are they in a rich vein of, not form, but financial health? Well, I'm going to get into that by using this conduit. I did find this interesting because there was a little article with a lovely little graphic, which I'm going to bring up. I'm going to shock the norm in this precipice of copyright striking that we're trying to walk. And I'm going to bring it up because there's nothing copyright in it. And it beautifully breaks down the sort of juxtaposition of where we're at in terms of video content streaming and music. Yes, the prices have went up across the board, but they went up more drastically in the actual TV and movie side of things in comparison to the music side of things. And I find that quite interesting. First of all, Yeah, they're bringing the prices up. I'm just going to bring this up instead. I'm going to bring this up. This is not copyrighted at all. There's no copyright content here. We should be absolutely hunky-dory bringing this up. I am, strangely enough, sitting higher up, and I'm going to deal with that right now. Wow, look at that. We'll just bring that back up again, and we'll shift me up here. So I'm centred in the middle. Yeah, as you can see, is this zoomed in enough that it can actually be seen by human eyes? Let's zoom in a little bit more, shall we? Coming in from the Evening Standard, it's not a publication that I read a hell of a lot, purely because they are a Tory rag. And George Osborne, the former Chancellor of the Exchequer here in the United Kingdom, I think he was an owner. Certainly he was a sort of writer. I think he may have been the publisher, what do you call it? The editor of the Evening Standard. And he may, in fact, still be. So I'm not a huge fan of Gorgeous George, the sort of... Yeah, he's a prick. Without further ado, I'm not going to spend much more time discussing him and the merits of the Evening Standard. I'm here now. Disney Plus, as you can see, set to follow Netflix in altering its pricing structure and introducing a tier that peppers your evening with ads to help you save a few pounds. You can say what you want about the Evening Standard, but that was a lovely bit of English and visualising from Andrew Williams there. It peppers your evening with ads to help you save a few pounds. And that's just the way that I view it. It's peppering you. Almost like a slightly jalopy World War II era submachine gun. It's kind of misfiring, but a couple are getting through. And it alters your enjoyment of the film, the TV, the content that you are consuming. And we've seen that with the free music services. Obviously Spotify, I think, more so than Apple. Apple are only premium. You've got adverts popping up and all the time and actually interrupting your ability to listen to the music. Obviously, you've got a certain amount of plays as well. I don't really know about that because I'm more of an Apple Music kind of guy. Needless to say, it was a great piece of visualisation. Let's get into the meat and bones of the actual topic. Subscribers currently pay $7.99 a month. I don't. I pay it annually. And it went up last year, about £25 or something. I paid about £80 odd for a year subscription. And I'm so intrigued to see, and I, as of now, a day on from discovering this news, I've not received any real sort of confirmation in regards to where I stand, people in my position stand, with regards to this increase in the actual payment structure if you want to remain on the premium branch. I've paid in advance for a year. Do I have to conjure up more money? Am I don't know, immune to this change until the subscription runs out? Suppose time will tell in November when it kicks in. It'll be renamed. There is a new service. It will be renamed Disney Plus Premium. It's £10.99 a month. And yeah, as you can see, you can drop down to standard. There will be advertisements. It will be 1080p. You won't have the Dolby Atmos experience, surround sound experience. And you've got an even cheaper version, I think, below that, potentially. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. An ad-supported version will cost £4.99. So they're adding the sort of tier system that Netflix, I think, brainchilded a few years back. I'm not entirely sure that's a good path to be following. Netflix, a streaming service who were on top, if I can speak proper English, who now find themselves in quite a bit of financial difficulty, on the rocks a little bit, and they're losing subscribers like nobody's business. And the content they're putting out is of a not great standard. I've seen the reviews for The Witcher season that's come out. It's not good, man. It's not making good reading. That's Netflix. They've been introducing all these tiers, different sort of levels of entry points, if you like, for their services. Ones with adverts, ones not with adverts, fucking premium, non-premium. It's not really done them much good. And by all accounts, this is hot off the heels of Disney losing, I think, 11 million subscribers in the course of the first quarter, I think, of 2023. So Disney's lost some subscribers, and now they're introducing multiple tiers and sort of payment systems, for lack of a better word. Well, I'm not going to really go into a huge amount of detail, as I did say. This is more a conduit into a sort of greater discussion from me, at least, on Disney and where they're at just now. Their earnings call was the other day, and also being a huge fan of Disney across the board, always have been since I was a little kid. I keep a keen interest in how the company's actually performing, where they're at in terms of their strategies moving forward, streaming, so analog TV, for lack of a better term. And I'm going to get into that. But as you can see, this was, I think, actually Bob Iger. No, it wasn't. It was Jan Koppen, Walt Disney EMEA. He said this in the statement. The introduction of the ad-supported plan marks the next evolution for Disney Plus in Europe. And this is not just in Europe. This is across the board. That's happening in the United States as well. But he's obviously only addressing Europe, which is his region. As we provide greater choice for our customers and our world-class advertising partners alike. Content will not differ, but the new subscription plans, between the new subscription plans, it's just really advertisements and how that's going to impact your viewing pleasure. Whether you want to continue on with the premium, non-advertisement sort of tier that you've had before, or whether you want to have it disrupted with the odd advert. Obviously, your financial situation, we are in a credit crisis just now. Financial crisis, if you like. Inflation's rising off the charts. I don't know about anywhere else, but certainly here in the United Kingdom. Bank of England are raising interest rates every other fucking month, it seems. People are in some real sticky wickets just now, and this may influence their decision to keep certain streaming services running. They may have to make a decision which one they keep now, whereas before they may have had the option of maybe 2, 3, 4, all of them. I don't know. I seem to have every one, I think, nearly. I don't think we get Hulu over here, but I've got Netflix, I've got Prime, I've got Paramount, I've got Disney, Apple TV, I've got the fucking full shebang, really. Apple Music. As you can see, though, this is not something that is brand new information. As you can see, launch dates on the left, where we're at just now in terms of pricing, starting pricing points for these streaming services, and across the board, they have went up again and again and again and again. And I can get the rationale behind it because the lines are blurring between TV and film. The actors are able to attract into these TV productions. The sort of CGI and production values almost indecipherable between a big Hollywood movie release and a TV show going to a Disney Plus or a Netflix. So when you're up in that quality, you're up in the bar, it stands to reason that's going to come at a cost. And if you're not ultimately getting raw box office numbers in to balance the books, you need it with subscriptions. Or you need it with premium access points, which is what we had during the pandemic for straight to VOD releases. So it shouldn't be a surprise really that they're upping the pricing. And at the end of the day, I don't think £2 extra a month is a huge amount. You take that over the course of a year, it's £24. It's about $30. It's fucking nothing. You'd spend that in a takeaway most weeks. Certainly I do. Every time I go to McDonald's, it's fucking £20-30 now. Orders get bigger, and I wonder why my t-shirt size is growing. I'll be wearing a bra soon. Needless to say, I can get why the pricing's going up, but it is interesting to see the sort of what's the word I'm looking for? The pattern that has emerged. HBO Max, it launched in 2020. It started at $14.99. It's now $15.99 a year later, 2-3 years later. Netflix started in 2007 at $8.99. It was a completely different proposition back then. It was almost the physical media distribution company. You would order DVDs, they would be posted through your letterbox. It's obviously had the biggest sort of evolutionary journey. Netflix as a sort of streaming service, a platform, compared to the other ones who have maybe jumped onto the whole streaming. What's the word I'm looking for? Shenanigans. Yeah, I can't think of anything better. And as you can see, that's obviously reflected in the greater increase in pricing. As I did mention earlier, Netflix has had its trials and tribulations, its financial problems. Greater competition has resulted in subscribers maybe dropping. They're losing OG projects and not OG projects, they're losing non-original programming. In the likes of, off the top of my head, man, they had Friends, they've lost Friends, they've gained it back, they've lost it again. Now they're having to lean more heavily on their original projects, and certainly their movies have been of a higher quality than the TV, and that's reflected in the amount of people subscribing to the service. But $8.99 to $15.49 is a massive jump, but again, this is a longer period, man. This is like 16 years this has been running. But again, you can see the pattern. It's getting more expensive. Hulu, $9.99, $14.99, quite a jump as well. Been around for a long time though. 13 years. YouTube Premium, the only one that I think I don't subscribe to on that list, out with of Hulu, which is not available here. And it's increased in the last 5 years. I didn't realise that was a thing for 5 years. It seems like they've been peddling that for the last year or so. But it's jumped up $2. Peacock has jumped up $2. Paramount Plus has jumped up $2. Disney Plus is now up to $10.99. So it's a $3 increase, $4 increase, $3 increase. Apple TV Plus is shirking this sort of pattern for now. I'm sure they will join the journey into the $10 mark pretty fucking shortly. They are, of course, probably one of the few actual $1 trillion companies here. Interestingly, they've not actually got Prime here. They've not got Prime, Amazon Prime here, which is intriguing because I think it hits something like £9 over here. And the value for money is unmatched. You get free next day delivery. You get a streaming service. You get music on the basic level. You get a free subscription on Twitch. Brilliant value for money. The best, by far, pound for pound streaming service and overall subscription. Out of all of these here, a country mile, far better. And I don't think it's get more expensive. So that's interesting. And you could argue Apple TV Plus coming off the back of an Oscar-winning release. Multiple Oscar buzzing movies, big name directors, that they would have more reason to increase their pricing than the rest, but they aren't shirking it just now. But for me, the reason I brought this graph up, I'm going off and fucking waffling tangents already, and that's dangerous. The reason I brought it up was just the sort of juxtaposition of video content streaming services and music content streaming services down below. There's free, and they've remained pretty damn, stable across the tenure of their existences, if you like, which is of course 8 years, 5 years and 12 years respectively. Spotify, Apple Music and YouTube Premium Music, $10.99. And I do wonder what the rationale behind that is. Is this down to the less fluctuating production costs of music compared to, I don't know, say film? Is film becoming more expensive to produce in this cost of living crisis? Obviously the striking and having to pay large amounts of people for their work, extras, crew members, writers, CGI people, fucking the full shebang. Is it just a general cost of living? Has it increased the labouring cost, the production cost, and that's reflected in what they're having to push onto the customer? Whereas music is usually just a studio, the artist, small number of people, and they can then therefore keep the cut that's going to the artist at the same level, and they don't have to pass on huge price hikes to the consumers. I don't know what the rationale is, but I found it interesting nonetheless. I'm sure I'm the only one that found it fucking interesting, but that's neither here nor there. As you can see, 11.7 million customers have been lost on Disney Plus, and that's obviously, it's caused Bob Iger to jump in, and obviously I'm going to move on from that. Have to make some decisions. And the earnings call for 2023 third quarter, Q3 earnings call. He's had to make some decisions, and this is decisions that have had an impact on the whole company and the way it's ran. Not just the streaming service, not just the pricing point, tier systems, cracking down on password sharing, something else Netflix has been doing. Something I actually agree with, to be fair. You can't be sharing passwords with Tom, Dick and Harry. These companies are producing high caliber content. Whether you like the content or not, it's still high caliber in terms of the visuals at a sort of core basic level. If you like the visuals, putting that together, paying the fucking directors, paying these A-list actors who are coming on board and doing these productions now, the likes of your Ewan McGregor's, your Amelia Clark's, probably not the best example, but you know what I mean. Big name actors are coming into these TV shows now, which were probably out of the reach of a Netflix 5 years ago, 7 years ago. You can't be sharing passwords and think that it's not going to have ramifications, or not going to want to shake it up and do something with it. These companies have to make money. They're spending huge amounts of money, $10 million an episode for certain shows. They have to recoup that some way, shape or form, if that's English. I says it now, so it technically is. I don't know. I don't even know what the context of this is. I'm not even going to lie, man. I think this may be in the context of where Disney's at in terms of its box office runs. And yeah, I'm just going to read the quote, really. It's Bob Iger. Regarding your studio performance, let's put things in perspective a little bit. The studio has had a tremendous run over the last decade, perhaps the greatest run that any studio has ever had, with multiple billion-dollar hits, and including, by the way, two that were relatively recent. One in particular, Avatar: The Way of Water, and we also had a pretty strong performance with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which has done, I think, you fucking know, Bob. Give me a break. Approximately under $850 million. I bet if I go to Box Office Mojo, he's got it to within $1,000. He thinks. That said, the performance of some of our recent films has definitely been disappointing, and we don't take that lightly. As you'd expect, we're very focused on improving the quality and the performance of the films that we've got coming up. It's something that I'm working closely with the studio on. I am personally committed to spending more time and attention on that as well. Look, I'm glad that he has noted the less than stellar performance of the movies. They have dropped a little bit compared to where they were 5 years ago, 3-4 years ago even. There is the odd outlier. Just huge fandom for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's James Gunn. Everyone loves the guy, I think. I certainly do. Want to see the end of the Guardian story. Obviously, Avatar, it's Jim Cameron. You put him in any director's seat, give him any kind of budget at all, and he's going to make you money at the box office. The guy's got 3 movies in the top 5 ever, 6 ever, whatever it is, of the box office all-time record, if you like. There is outliers, but in the main, they have been up and down, and it's not been the sort of riding the crest of a wave, exponential success that we've seen throughout the 2010s into the last 2 or 3 years, if you like. There has been a tail-off, a drop-off. And obviously Bob stepped away for a bit, and it was Bob Chapek was there. And he then had to come in, clip his wings, give him the heave-ho, sit back in the main seat, and he's having to clean up the mess. And it feels like for the last 2 years or so, I think it's been, anyway, 1.5 2 years since he stepped back in, that this has been a gradual clean-up, and that he's slowly but surely trying to get shit together at this studio and right some wrongs. And certainly, I mean, I'll try to find the actual article here. Is it this one here? Ways options for TV networks. It's something you're seeing across the entire company. He's addressing multiple facets of Disney, the theme parks, TV networks, all by all accounts looking to sell off ABC, traditional TV. And they're looking to go digital now. They're realising that the world is becoming a more digital place. The analogue content is dying a death now, as the old genes, as I like to call them, the older generations pass away. And it's sad, but they are passing away. That's life. It flows on within you and without you, as George Harrison once said. With their inevitable demise, you've got the newer generations who are turning less and less to sort of TV networks, even over here. What do they call it again? Terrestrial TVs, we call it over here. The council telly. I can't remember the last time I watched TV. Period. I just go into streaming services, I go into YouTube, I go into Twitch. And I'm not even the youngest generation now. I'm like a middle generation now. So it's inevitable, it's reality. You've got to face reality. We watched a great show not long ago, Pictures, where the core protagonists were trying to explain that to an older businessman who had made his fortune off of traditional shopping. And he had to try and give a pitch to him about how you need to open up and go digital. The world is changing. It may not look like it now, but it will, and you have to get ahead of the curve. Disney, Bob Iger, also realise this. That's why they're focusing on the streaming, bringing in the different pricing points, try to boost that subscribe, or base, if you like, subscription base. Because look, a couple of million people paying $4.99 is better than 0 people. And this password sharing thing, anything that's going to bring income into this company and allow them to give us great content, he's going to try and do it. He's going to try and shake the fucking company up. And I always find it very interesting, man, this whole earnings call thing, the information that comes out about it. Just the shape of the company, man, and as I did say, and where they're at, and how that's impacting on the consumer. Guys like me find it very interesting. And also my bank account's going to find it very interesting come November, if I have to fucking pay out another £30 or whatever it is. But I'm sure I can take the hit. I'm sure I'll be continuing to watch great content. You shouldn't think what's coming out, man. Ahsoka's coming out. What else is coming out? There's some brilliant content set to hit the streaming service. You've got fucking Marvel movies coming on this streaming service within months of them being in the theatres. Unheard of. It's now the norm. So it stands to reason they're going to have to up the cost of the actual subscription service to provide that to the consumer. It wasn't that long ago in the pandemic that they were charging £30 fucking to see movies like Black Widow. Now we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, albeit not same day release, very close to its stint in the theatres. I think it's a fair increase ultimately, and that's a long and winded, nigh on half an hour discussion on them raising the prices. And I finally gave an opinion. I think it's the correct decision. Look, ultimately the company has to stay afloat. They have to balance the books. I've got no issues with it whatsoever. I'm moving on though. MCU fans nail next Avengers movie. The context of this is really, it's an opinion piece from Andy Beckback from Screen Rant. And I think it's coming in from Heard It, as I like to call it, Reddit. Marvel Studios Reddit. I'm going to endeavour to bring this up again, and I'm going to hope that it doesn't result in a copyright strike, because we have got some things here. And you know what, just to be safe, you know what we'll do here? Just in case they come calling, because they fucking have a right royal... Oh, what have I just done there? They have a right royal hard on for our channel just now. We'll not even give them the opportunity. We'll take it out, and we'll just read from this. And I kind of agree with this, man. This is something we've discussed on this channel for the last number of months, if not years, since a year or so, since No Way Home, and just a spate of underwhelming MCU releases. There's been a couple of good ones in there, but underwhelming, and this absolute, and I'm going to say it again, raging hard on boner with the company, with the creative process and that, the MCU at Marvel Studios, for connecting the dots, connecting everything, trying to almost rush everything. There's not enough emphasis going on the actual storytelling, individual singular movies, if you like they used to do back in the day in the 2010s with Iron Man, Winter Soldier, First Avenger. All these movies they focused on the individual characters, the stories, they bonded you with they bonded those characters with the audience. Then they would tack in end credit scenes connecting it, and it was more intelligent in its craftsmanship. Now it feels like they're rushing things, they're trying to force connections in the actual story, and the stories are taking a hit for it. The movies aren't of the calibre they used to be. I know it may be the case that it's just the characters aren't of the calibre they used to be. We haven't got Steve Rogers anymore, we haven't got Tony Stark, we haven't got a young Scarlett Johansson dancing about in a leather sort of cat suit, one suit, what do you call it? I don't know, suit. And that's obviously something that anybody, regardless of what their sexual sort of preference are, it's something you're going to fucking enjoy, isn't it? You've not got her anymore, you've got Yelena and Florence Pugh. She's alright looking, isn't she? But she's not Scarlett Johansson. She's not. So there's a couple of things missing. And obviously, this take here is something I also feel is missing. Low stakes, sort of ensemble movies, building into a greater existential threat. Not everything should be universal. Not everything should be end of times threat. Even the TV shows, it feels like it's celestial, it's universal. It could impact every single living thing in the galaxy. This wasn't something they were doing 10 years ago in the MCU. You would have universal threats, Avengers level villains, but then the next movie you'd have a street level villain. Off the top of my head, you'd go from an Avengers movie to Ant-Man. He's going down toilet sinks. Is that right? Bath sink holes. Plug holes. He's fighting like fucking guys in yellow suits, yellow jacket, guys from a laboratory, and he's Ant-Man 2, it's a guy with a briefcase, someone jumping in and out of the quantum realm, it's a little bit pain in the arse FBI guy. And then you get back to existential threats. There was a difference, there was a scaling in the villains. And you'd have different characters popping in and out of the stories, and you'd be able to bond them together. You'd feel like there was a camaraderie. Then you could build into a big story and give us something that was earned, something we could connect to, characters that we loved and known. I'm going to read it. I'm paraphrasing what this guy says. I completely agree with OK Sir 8600. That was almost SK Sir Key Class again there, which I always had issues saying. Just what I had to say. They should do a low stakes new Avengers movie before Secret Wars. I think the general feeling is that we have a lot of characters and a lot of new characters that we see once, and then we have to wait years before seeing them again. Also, after Thanos, we have Multiverse and Secret Wars and etc., which are like really big Universal events. I think they should do an in-between Avengers movie, something on the feeling of the new Avengers, when the team got together after fighting a breakout on Rikers, so that we can have some team action that is not necessarily end of the world threat. Basically Avengers, but without Avengers level threat. I think characters like, it's Civil War. It was Avengers 1.5, 2.5. I think it came out after Age of Ultron. 2016, I think. Ultron was 2015, 14. That was a perfect example. You had a sort of Age of Ultron existential threat. Sort of AI, general intelligence thing coming into existence, threatening humanity, threatening life on Earth. And then you go to Civil War, and it's two guys with a friendship going back decades, and then the deconstruction of this close-knit unit. It was very human in its scale, very human in its sort of villain, if you can even call Bucky, the Winter Soldier, a villain. Was he even the villain in that movie? I don't know. I don't think so. You get what I mean? There was an in-between kind of story that allowed these characters, well, they fucking fell apart in that instance, but allowed more time with them. You got to see how they bounced off each other. Even when they were trying to kill each other, it was fucking great. Spider-Man came into this universe at that point. We need something like that. I completely agree. I think characters like Thor or Cap weren't that loved after the first movies. That I disagree with. Maybe not Thor. Thor was a bit of a stuffy Shakespearean gimp, but Captain America was always cool, man. At the very moment it was cool after he became the super soldier. He was a little dweeb before that, but the very moment he went into that fucking like tank machine thing, got a bit of super soldier serum, if that's even what it's called. Super army soldier. He was a cool character, man. On your left, just really, really well constructed movies. The Captain America movies, for me, the perfect trilogy within the MCU. Iron Man can't lay hold to that claim. You could say Spider-Man to an extent is a nigh on perfect trilogy in the sort of greater umbrella that is the MCU. But for me, Captain America, right off the bat, I love the character. That's why I've got the fucking shield behind me. And Chris Evans was a match made in heaven. Just brilliant, charismatic, towering figure that you could get on board with right away. That was a leader. You had Tony Stark, you had him. They were the linchpin of the Avengers moving forward. But after seeing them interacting with each other on Avengers, they turned into what they are today. We could have an earth-bounded team for this movie like Cap, Falcon, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Hawkeye. Old experience may be finally retired after the movie. Maybe Black Widow, maybe something like that. Leave Cap, Marvel off-world, and to be the Avenger by end of world threats. What? And to be Avenger by end of world threats. This is the trouble when you read off a Reddit. The English isn't always great. Doctor Strange can be like a partner but no Avenger. Maybe Wanda trying to undo what she did. She's done. Elizabeth Olsen's not coming back. Or someone like Magic Tech to put some variety on the physical team. I agree with it though, man. I agree. They have to shake it up. They have to give us a reason to bond with these characters, these new characters who have realistically had a couple of movies. At most, one movie. I'm talking about Captain Marvel. She's in, a movie and a half? 2 movies? Did she appear in Infinity War? I don't know. She had her own movie. She was in Endgame. The Marvels isn't out yet. As far as I'm aware, I've lost the fucking plot with the MCU to an extent. But, you know what I mean? Shang-Chi, one movie. Not seen him again. America Chavez and Doctor Strange, not seen it again. These are all characters who have been introduced, but they've had one outing. You need to bond them together in a non-existential threat kind of movie, and then when you get to those double-header Avengers movies, you will feel like you've earned it. They will have had some back and forth camaraderie. There will be a bond. There will be something to grab hold of when it really means something at the end of the saga. Right now, we've not got that. Right now, I'm not entirely sure what direction the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going. I know we're leading to a Kang, to a cataclysmic come together in these Avengers movies, but I'm lost with it, man. I'm lost with it. I'm almost checked out, and this could be something that could bring me back in, giving us a little in between kind of movie. You know what, man? I was going to talk about Deadpool 3. absent from the upcoming release slate. Gives a fuck. Who cares, man? Really? It'll be out when it's out. They're striking just now, the actors. They've had to delay production. Of course it's going to get delayed. It's not news, man. A couple other ones have been delayed. It'll come out, man. This isn't going to be a Gambit. It's not going to be a... What were they called? Fucking New Mutants. It's just not going to be. This isn't going to be a movie stuck in production purgatory. Never seen the light of day. It will come out. It will be a huge success. It's Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson. It just works, doesn't it, really? And then we'll somehow find a way of bringing this weird, wondrous, potty-mouthed, R-rated buffoon into the MCU. And of course Hugh Jackman's in there. You don't bring Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. Have the man work out like a man possessed and then not do the movie. The movie will come out. There's nothing to worry about here. I'm done with it. Shah Rukh Khan, man. SRK. The man has been out. Absolutely destroying people. Destroying people on Twitter. Or on X, as it's called now. Thanks to Elon and his unbelievable ego. And this is a side to Shah Rukh I didn't know existed. But I love him even more now. I think he's a great guy. Cool looking, suave, charismatic geezer. Brilliant actor. Obviously insanely rich. A lot of people, when they gain wealth and fame and sort of superstardom, they lose touch with their personality. They lose that sense of humour, that ability to just snap people in two with words. Not Shah Rukh, man. He's been on Twitter. I think he's been doing a Q&A, Ask SRK. I think it's the build up to Joanne. Joanne's a month away now. Less than a month. Seen the poster incidentally. It looks cool as hell. Really looking forward to that movie. And how VJ Sephipathi is going to bounce off of SRK. And that movie is in that movie. Am I tripping? No. Telepathy VJ. Not VJ Sephipathi. Telepathy VJ. The peak is back. Just looking to see how we're going to get this sort of... I presume it's going to be like Salman Khan's Tiger and obviously Patan. It will be a one and done scene and action sequence. But looking forward to seeing the movie, man. The villain... He's almost a borderline villain, isn't he? He's got the slap head at the end. He's holding the train up. It looks hilarious, man. That hilarity is carrying on into the borderline production here. And I'm going to bring this up because, there's no copyright again. So why would I not? Unless SRK comes after us for using images from his Twitter. Or his X. I keep saying it, don't I? Let's move that over again because why not? Not that far though, because we're getting bits of the actual side panel. Yeah, he's been absolutely destroying people. Thankfully, the kind folks over at Hindustan Times they've translated them because I don't speak Hindi. Yeah, look, I wish I did, because look at that. Who wouldn't want to be able to speak that language? Not me, sorry. I would love to. This is what I had to say. Yeah, one user asked, I love you as a human being. Arslicker. Is Joanne showing romantic side of you? Shah Rukh replied, all sides, front side, back side, side side. You will see me in full 3D IMAX version, don't worry. Hashtag Joanne. Good little comeback. Sharp as attack. Witty. Gotta love it. Another user complained that his wife was not willing to watch Joanne with him and gave a hilarious reason. Fiancé Kobo, and I think they've gave us the rationale down there. Yeah, I am asking my fiancé to watch Joanne with me, but she's saying that you're my Joanne. I don't want to watch SRK. And incidentally, I searched Joanne up. I think it means young soldier or something to that effect. A young recruit. You're my young recruit. That doesn't really make much sense to me, but okay, we'll go with the flow. And he replied with, okay brother, you listen to her now. Make sure to know that the pot from someone else. Ask whether she will watch the next one, the name of which is Donkey. Or else are you also her donkey. A donkey to her. A donkey to her. Again, he's been sharp as attack, he's been witty. It's a side to the actor I've never seen before. I was laughing at it, man. I'm not laughing now because it's a day out of date and I've already read them. But I thought, fuck it. Why not discuss it? Why not speak about Shah Rukh Khan? Why not? I ask. Why not get a more comfortable chair? One that I don't have to keep moving about in. In fairness, it is about 30 degrees in this room. Even now, I don't know why I'm wearing a hoodie. But it's light, and I am. And I'm just going to have to go with it now because, yeah, I'm absolutely fucking a certain term deep into this show now, and there's no going back. Another one says, what? What was this? Zinda Banda did not suit him at all. Told him his recent song didn't suit him. And he replied with, forgive me, brother, next time I will make a suit of your size. You get your pants and pyjamas. Another user says to him, and I'm trying to get the translation here if you bear with me. What was it he says to him, Hindustan Times? Can you fucking help me out here? Okay, you start praising me from tomorrow. Yeah, I think they were basically saying, why is he boasting about himself in Jawan? Why is in the Jawan preview? Why is he praising himself? He replied with, okay, you start praising me from tomorrow onwards. I will remain silent. The next preview will be silent. You dub it according to you. I love it, man. This is my kind of fucking guy right here. This is a guy I can get on board with. I love sarcasm. I love sharp as a tack humour and wit and just cutting people to the bone. I love it. This is what I'm all about, man. I get called arrogant. I get called up myself, cheeky, because I'm like this. I call people out, man, and I'm sarcastic as hell, and I fucking love it. So this felt like a sort of connection with SRK when I was reading this. I'm like, this is my kind of guy. Not only is he incredibly charismatic, funny, a brilliant actor, supremely rich, can pull any woman in the world, he's got a full head of hair and he's in his 50s, but this fucking man has got wit aplenty as well. And he ended it with this, man. He ended his roasting session with this. Someone asked him, what was this? What did they ask him? Are you going to ask me? Tell me what they asked him. Yeah, they basically criticised him for being too old. That was the general gist. Why are you calling yourself Jawan? You're old now. You're old. And he replied with, good that you reminded me. Also remember that there is no age to act dumb as well. And he's absolutely right, man. I am 34 years of age and I'm still acting like I'm 15 at times. There is no age on humour. There is no age on acting like a fool. And there's certainly no age on roasting trolls and haters on social media or in any platform, really. As someone who does get the odd person coming in and writing just inane bullshit in our comment section, albeit not on the level of Shah Rukh Khan, I can completely get on board with his desire to tear them a new arsehole. We have to be a little bit more diplomatic on our side because we could get a community strike. But believe me, there is times where I want to respond, like SRK has responded in some of these tweets. And I just love an individual who has reached a certain level of success where their bank balance is not in doubt, it's not in danger. And they've just got a sort of newfound level of freedom where they can take people apart and say whatever the fuck they want. Mad respect to him. I'm moving on though to the final topic. And look, this is really bottom of the barrel. I'm scraping so far beyond the bottom of the barrel. I'm into the ground below. I've dug a 6-foot hole and I'm ready to put a coffin in it and lie in it and call it my bed tonight. As I says, it was an excuse to just justify the E being there. That E there. That E. It represents entertainment. And if I didn't tack this movie or this music topic on at the end, it's technically music, then it would just be movie news and maybe as well just changing it back to an M and an N. I think I've still got the animation somewhere, to be fair. But it's entertainment news and you can't really call your show entertainment news if you're just speaking about fucking movie news. So I thought, you know what, screw it, I'll find some kind of music news that isn't Ed Sheeran talking about AI, that isn't relating to Taylor Swift releasing new songs, because I don't really care about Taylor Swift, or her music in fact. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just not particularly whelmed by it. And I thought, you know what, this is interesting, because look, I've dabbled with the two primary music streaming services, Spotify and Apple. First it was Spotify back in the day when it released. It was also the big player, Apple, stepped into the ring. I think even now Spotify is significantly bigger than Apple. It's just a more rounded platform. And obviously the first thing that you notice when you go into Spotify is its ability to pick up on what you're listening to and recommend similar kind of music and genres and artists to you. Ones that you maybe you wouldn't have thought about. Ones that you recommended and you think, oh, I quite like that. That's interesting. That sounds like that. I'm going to add that in my library. For whatever reason, I stepped away from Spotify, probably because I don't know the rationale. I stepped away from it and I went to Apple Music. And it's one thing, look, Apple's got a huge library of songs, unbelievable library. It may have even been the fact that Apple got the Beatles. and Spotify never at some point. It may have even been down to the way that Spotify was treating the artists. I think they were short paying them. Funnily enough, I think Taylor Swift removed her music from Spotify and went to Apple, reconnecting the dots with Taylor Swift. That may have been my rationale, pardon me, for going to Apple Music. But the one thing it was missing was that brilliant algorithmic sort of platform that would recommend new music to you. I'm always looking to discover new songs, new music, new genres. I listen to everything. Absolutely fucking everything, man. I will listen to, I don't know, man, that new one that came out, Vampire one. Forget her name. Quite like the song. It's well constructed. It's well put together. It's a good arrangement. I like the way it builds. She's got a sort of Spanish sounding name. I'm going to have to bring this up. But I listen to her. I listen to the Beatles. I listen to Easy Life. I listen to everything, man. Georgia Smith, Wet Leg, the full shebang, Redbone's in there. I listen to fucking everything. So I'm always well up for sort of algorithmic things, showing me new artists, new styles of music. Look, I recently discovered your man Lacey something, I forget his name, Steve Lacey. I discovered that your other man, Frank Ocean. These were artists I'd never heard of. I heard the music, I thought, I like that music. That's something that would have happened probably more efficiently, a lot quicker on Spotify, because you would have realised what I was listening to and gave me it. But needless to say, man, I'm going off on a fucking long-winded, waffled tangent. Apple Music has now kind of jumped onto that with a new discovery station. And I've tried it out and it's kind of alright. It does recognise the style of music that I listen to, varied though it is. And it tries its best to give me something similar, but new and different artists, if you like. And at least they're trying, man. They're trying to kind of right the wrongs of the past. Apple's great, man. Apple Music's brilliant. It's got some interesting shit going on. It's got some brilliant podcasts and things. Your man that's of Radio 1 fame, Zane Lowe, does a brilliant series with interviews, sits down with artists, walks around their city, breaks down their music, their career, where they're at, where their headspace is in the present day. Done it with the 1975s, he's done it with other artists over the years. They've got a brilliant platform. It's different to Spotify, and in many ways it's a good thing that they haven't really tagged into that whole algorithmic thing that Spotify does so well. The sort of indie scene that Spotify delivers to listeners. They're different beasts. They have to differentiate themselves, but I do like the fact that they have kind of gave us something that would offer new music, because it's always nice to hear something new, different. Easy Life's the perfect example, man. I heard Skeletons for the first time. I went down a rabbit hole with a band, and they're a brilliant band, multi-layered, easy listening, multiple instrumentals in there, man. Saxophones, trumpets, fucking keyboard stuff, sim stuff. Just brilliant, different sounding band. They rap, they sing, they do everything. Their music videos are great. I would never have discovered a band like that, never in a million years, if it wasn't for me hearing it on the radio or just jumping on a fucking playlist randomly and going down a rabbit hole and hearing it. So it's always good to hear new music, discover new artists, and anything that can facilitate that's a good thing. So glad to see Apple Music kind of learning something from Spotify, small though it is. I can't believe I ripped the arse out of that topic there. It's actually extraordinary. I'm done though. What's your thoughts on the topics I discussed on the show tonight? What do you make about not Apple, what do you make about Disney Plus increasing, Disney Plus and Hulu, if it's in your area, increasing their sort of subscription prices, offering different tiers with adverts, different scaled quality, 1080p, 4K, surround sound, Dolby Atmos, Dolby sort of surround if you like. What's your thoughts? Now, what's your thoughts on the Disney earnings call in general, the way they're restructuring, looking to sell off TV networks like ABC, restructuring the company, just trying to deal with the overall quality of film and sort of entertainment that's been churned out by the machine? What's your thoughts on it? Discuss it down below in the comment section if you get anything to say. What's your thoughts on the MCU? Are they doing it wrong just now? Are they trying to rush things, connect things too much? Should they slow it down, let it marinate a little bit? Give us an ensemble movie with some of the would-be Avengers of the future, where they can bounce off each other, not worrying about the entirety of humanity and indeed the universe being wiped off or out of existence. Should we have a lower scaled Avengers-like movie with some Avengers characters to build that camaraderie into what's going to be a frenetic end to this saga, if you'd like? Share your thoughts down below about that. Thoughts about SRK's humour, his roasting of individuals on Twitter. Finally, Apple Music introducing a Discovery station. Do you like to listen to varied amounts of music, artists, different kinds of genres? Is it a good thing that they are trying to facilitate this, trying to use maybe even AI algorithms to provide something you might like, let you discover a new artist? Share your thoughts down below about that. Anything at all can be put down below in the comment section. It's a place to put the thoughts. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Same thing over on Twitch, follow button, notifications button over there to see us live over there as well. All that's left to be said is until the next time, I am done. My throat is absolutely goosed. I'm going to have a fucking pint of water. It's getting necked the minute I mute the mic. And until the next time, bye-bye. Incidentally, if you don't know who Steve Lacy is, go and listen to Inside by Steve Lacy. It's just great. The lyrics are double entendre at best and flat out fucking dirty at worst. But the song is great, man. He's just a great artist. Instrumentally, brilliant. Steve Lacy, man. Give it a bash. Inside. Brilliant cover as well. Man rocks a suit like nobody I've ever known in my life outside Alex Turner. Bye-bye.